What is going on, Panther Lair? We are talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers road loss to the Louisville Cardinals this past Saturday night. Now, I want to dive deeper into something that I've talked about before, and that is I don't think Pitt's offense is very much in sync when they try to initiate through Cam Corhen. And this happens particularly in the very beginning of games and throughout the first half. And it's one of the reasons I think Pitt has had a lot of slow starts. So let's dive in here. This first sequence is pretty much the downside and the upside for how I view Corhen in Pitt's offense. So the downside is you try to give him the ball here and hope that he is going to make some type of quality decision or play receiving the ball nearly 45-ish feet away from the basket. And he tries to make a crossover here, and this immediately turns into a turnover, but Louisville, made their fair share of turnovers in this game, coughs it right back up. Now, Lowe is going to drive baseline here on this hard closeout, and he's going to find Corhen, who just moves into this vacated space because three defenders are converging on Lowe. And when he catches the ball, he is able to make an athletic finish. That is pretty much the upside for what Corhen is right now in the offense, outside of the occasional post hook on the left block or kind of that turnover left shoulder post floater. Those aren't bad. He can do that, but really I think he fits best when he's doing what we just saw, and we're going to look at two more sequences here that I think highlight that as well. So high ball screen, nothing new there. Corhen initiates some contact, rolls hard to the rim. Leggett makes a really nice play here off of one bounce with his left hand. Corhen with a much smaller defender on him, and he makes the lay-in. Here again, really good job. I thought Guillermo Diaz-Graham had a really good game here at Louisville. Makes a nice jumping wraparound pass. Didn't know he had that in the bag. And then even though there's a foul on the floor here, if not, it's probably a travel. Again, you see Corhen, he just kind of slides into open space underneath the basket, and when he does not have to fight with anyone to catch the ball, he is usually capable of making an athletic finish. But now let's look back early in the game. We're like trying to initiate offense through him or trying to make a concerted effort to get him the ball in order for him to either make a play or try to score. Takes Pitt out of sync. Not only that, but they turn the ball over so much in these situations too. So see here, this is going to be kind of that zoom offense they run. Nice changing angle of the screen, but you notice that the Corhen, there's no ever any contact here with the screening, and so now there's two guys on Leggett, and now you have Austin. This pass is admittedly pretty hard, okay? And honestly, I don't know if Austin is just thinking, okay, I got to get there quickly because these defenders are parting, so the sooner I can get it to him, the more likely he can lay this in or dunk it without anyone there. But trying to make this pass, Corhen, who does not have the best set of hands to begin with, and the ball goes out of bounds, turnover. So here we go. This is a lot of Pitt's kind of delay. They'll run 5 out, 4 out, 1 in type of sets that they like to run. And so you'll see Corhen here, and he's going to try to run a DHO with Lowe. And this is where this gets stagnant. Every team has scouted this, right? Every team knows that this is what Pitt is trying to do in these types of handoff situations. And if they just jump it, then all of a sudden you have Corhen with the ball in his hand just kind of going around and around and around until he can get it to Lowe. And then here you have an empty corner, high ball screen, and Lowe is just going to try to fish this to him, just force this through two guys on a short roll with a high tag coming off from Leggett's guy. This is just not good offense. Lowe didn't have that many turnovers in the game, but the first two he had were trying to get the ball to Corhen. And see, Louisville goes the other way. Again, I think this is going to be an instance where they try to get the ball to Corhen. So part of the problem, too, that the Pitt has on offense, and we're not going to go too much into here, is getting a big man the ball this far away from the basket. There's just no point to this. And Guillermo Diaz-Graham is probably the most capable of the bigs to do something here, but he is just pivoting in circles, trying to get the ball to Corhen. Now, if you saw a little earlier here, as the sequence starts to play out, Lowe is trying to set a flex screen to get Corhen the ball. The design of this, I think, is going to be for Austin to get this ball, timing it with this flex screen, and then Corhen is ideally going to get this on a potential mismatch here, right? So Corhen is going to, Chucky Hepburn is going to maybe switch this, which he's not, but that's going to put Corhen in position on the left block where he likes it to try to go and lay this in. But when this doesn't work, because Pitt is just not a good screening team to begin with here, and Corhen's now fighting through, and now he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to go here to the free throw line, elbow area, and receive this ball. You have Guillermo just constantly spinning around. barely gets into Corhen. Now he's putting the ball on the floor. Goes back to low. There's 7 seconds on the shot clock. 2 guys go with the ball, and now they're just going to try to get this into Corhen. Again, it's just like locked on. Like this whole possession is trying to find a way to get Corhen the ball, and here's that second turnover for low. Here we go. This is in the second half. This, admittedly, I mean, like, Yerma has to probably make this pass. This has to be a better pass than this. But this, again, is an effort to try to get Corhen the ball. This isn't the worst thing. I mean, Pitt's done this a few times. This has been successful in the past. Not a great pass. I think what I want to highlight here, though, is as that ball comes off the backboard, I don't know why Corhen doesn't, like, establish himself back inbounds and then grab this. It seems like there's, like, a processing delay here a little bit. Ultimately, this becomes, you know, an out-of-bounds ball. But not the most heads-up thing here either. And then these are examples of why it's hard to run some offense through him. When he catches the ball cleanly, he can make athletic finishes. But his ability to catch the ball in traffic, particularly as it comes off of, you know, like the backboard or the rim or anything else, like even if it's like a lob sometimes, when it's contested, he just does not have a sure set of hands. Like the 3 sequences we're going to look at to close this video are not new in any way. You can probably see 3 to 5 in every single game this year. But, I mean, these are just things where, you know, it doesn't help when you're trying to get a guy a ball who's not always shorthanded. And, you know, I understand that these are in traffic, but he tends to bring the ball down, you know, and for a player that is as physically gifted as Corhen is, and as effective as he can be at times, these are just not great possessions, not great, you know, the ability to pull the ball down, to secure extra possessions, to go up strong again. And here at the end of this clip, not only does he not get that offensive rebound, or he gets the offensive rebound, brings it down low, gets it stripped, but then he commits his 5th foul here and fouls out of the game. So these are the types of things that make going to him a challenge. The offense is stagnant when they do that because they tend to lock on to doing that and they don't come off of that. He's a more limited of a player despite his athletic upside and ceiling. Now, there's a chance that he can, you know, get to that point. So I don't want to take that away from him. But right now, where we're at, putting him in positions where he has to make a lot of decisions, putting him in positions where you're trying to, like, only get him the ball, Pitt either turns the ball over or everyone else is out of sync except for Corhen, and he's only effective if he's like laying the ball in. And while you did see that, you know, the last 2 games, Pitt isn't really building big leads when that happens. They tend to either be in catch-up mode or they're just trading layups or trading points. And so no one else is really getting into the flow of things as Corhen is going, you know, 4 for 4. Last game was 6 for 6. And then the second half, they just go away from him completely anyway. So it's just a really weird way to go about things. I know I spent almost 8 minutes talking about it, but wanted to spend a lot of time here talking about why I don't think this is the best route to go. And I think we can see that here again at Louisville.